Okay, so finding the derivative of a function, sort of a really important and new idea that allows us finally to make some headway toward understanding instantaneous rate of change, which is really, of course, the first question we're trying to figure out here. How do you find instantaneous rate of change? And that led to and inspired the idea of a derivative. Now, when you can actually take the derivative of a function, when you use, the limit as delta x goes to 0 of f of x plus delta x minus f of x all over delta x, and you take that limit and do whatever is required to make that limit sort of, fall into place, then if that limit exists, then we say that the function that you first were looking at actually is a differentiable function. So a differentiable function is nothing more than a function for which you can compute the derivative for. And when I think of differentiability, by the way, I always think of smooth things. So in fact, I'm going to redo this right now live, make it very smooth. Because, when I think differentiability, I think smooth. In fact, I want you to think smooth, too. Very smooth, beautiful, just to the touch, it would be so nice and great. Now, so that's what I want you to think of. If something is differentiable, a function is differentiable, if I can compute the limit as delta x goes to 0 of f of x plus delta x minus f of x, all divided by delta x. If that limit does, in fact, exist, then I say the original function f of x is, in fact, an example of a differentiable function, and this whole realm is called differentiability. Now, taking the derivative and the applications and the ideas behind the derivative, this really is one of the greatest triumphs of humankind. So it's really a big deal. And in fact, I would put it right up there with some of the greatest other great, well, in fact, of all the great works of human creativity. When you think of them all, and so there you've got, you've got Milton and you've got Picasso, and really you should have the derivative right there, right next to Shakespeare. And in fact, this sort of just brings to heart this great line, friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do live after them, the good is aught entered in their bones, so let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault. And grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men. Well, I digress. But the important thing is, the idea of differentiability is up there as a great triumph of human thought. I'll see you at the next lecture.